This is your time to shine, bro.
So we've got 6 basic human needs: certainty, uncertainty, significance, love and connection, growth, and contribution. So certainty is all about us seeking comfort. Just self-assurance that you're avoiding pain and gaining pleasure. Why do people stay in jobs that they don't like? Because they want certainty, whether it's just the income or the hours of day that they work. It's all about security and know exactly what's coming up next. How many of you brothers were messaging us before the retreat where we're going to stay, and you know all the details, blah, 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 blah. And we purposely didn't give it to you. So you were trying to meet the need of certainty. All of the needs, you can look at them from a positive perspective and a negative perspective. So, certainty is all about survival. And the more we have a need for certainty, the less risk we're willing to take. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I'm going to write that one. Yeah.
Nice.
So the second need is uncertainty or variety, adventure. Think of all the entrepreneurs who just go for it. They don't exactly know what's going to happen, but they know they're going to make it work. They all those thrill seekers are always climbing up canyons without harnesses and just absolutely chasing life. These people are chasing uncertainty, variety, adventure. So who likes surprises?
Yeah.
Whose kids get really, really excited on Christmas Day?
Me.
Is it one that likes surprises? We've got plenty more coming.
Do you know what we call surprises that we don't like? Problems.
I like that.
So the weird thing about these is they're actually a paradox, because they're opposites. And we'll make different decisions in our life to meet one or the other. And if we had to group these as a category, we'd say they're survival. Now we're going to move into the next layer, which is...
Can I ask you a question? When you say these like serving that, are we searching for the feeling as well?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Safety.
So certainty is more like security.
Yeah, definitely.
Uncertainty.
Adventure, yeah.
And you realign these, like, if you're not feeling fulfilling areas of your life, you realign them and see what we can realign them.
Absolutely. Now, I'll explain the other two, and then we'll work on a few dynamics, and you can start to realise exactly what you've done in your past and how maybe it hasn't served you, or you've done something that has served you, how it's moving you towards something better in the future. So significance is the third need, and that's about feeling unique, special, or needed. So if you look at it from a negative perspective, it could be ego.
That's what I was going to ask you. There's good, there's healthy and unhealthy, yeah?
So if you look at it from a positive perspective, think about entrepreneurs who just like making billions, and they do it for significance, to pump themselves up. That's what makes them feel important. It could be people who are studying at uni who go and get degrees to feel important, or any kind of qualification that you undertake. How many people out in the normal world are chasing social media followers, and that's what makes them feel important? Oh my gosh, I got 600 likes on my photo, or I'm not feeling very well because I only got 20 likes on this photo. So, how true is that? The fourth human need is love and connection. So this is a strong feeling of closeness or union with someone or something. So think of it with your partners, your lovers, your friends, the community of people you choose to hang around. What makes Beast Mode so special? It's this community that we create, that people just want to be a part of it and just want to connect with daily. And it can be supportive, it can be unsupportive. You mind if I share a quick story?
Brilliant.
So I love playing rugby league. It's absolutely, I love the sport. I used to play for a club, and I love the sport. I love the mateship and the closeness we had when we were on the field and were playing. But individually, I didn't really like the people I played with. They didn't really align with my values, a little bit unsupportive, and just thought of the world completely different to me. And although it was really unsupportive environment, I still played there for 5 years. And progressively I started enjoying it less and less. When I look back at it, I was chasing certainty and connection. So even though the environment wasn't serving me, I was chasing that certainty and that connection. So like I say, it can serve you or it can't. So these, if we had to put a category on these, we'd call them the success. You know, if you're making lots of money or doing things that really make you feel important, needed, and special, then you could class that as success. And same as if you've got really, really strong, positive relationships and you're like, yeah, that you could count that as a measure of success. The last two needs, they're the spiritual needs. They're the ones people tend to focus on less. And the first one is growth. And if you think about life, we're either growing or we're dying. So why did you brothers choose to come to Beast Mode? Was it for growth? And whatever actions we do in life, we always want to meet at least two of these needs. Subconsciously, we always aim for two. And so if you get more, then you start to feel more fulfilled. It takes less energy, really, really powerful. And growth is one of those needs that gives us real fulfillment. You know, if you're growing, learning, you're challenging yourself, and you're just feeling stronger and stronger every day. Like, think of all your journeys from when you first started Beast Mode to now, and where you're going. The last need is contribution.
I've got a, sorry, before you jump into the last one, would you feel like some of these can actually intertwine, like when you're growing, you feel significant?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get to that at the end. We're just going to tie it all together.
That's cool.
It's good. I was going to ask a similar question.
So contribution is all about giving back. How many of you, if you get good news, you want to share it with your friends? And you're on phone calls, oh, I won the lotto, or hey, you know, this job I was aiming for, I really got, or this contract I was aiming for, or, you know, I finally booked my ticket to go traveling overseas. How cool is that? Could also just be giving back, doing some charity work, donations, giving a brother a call when they need. So let's wrap this all up and start to give examples. So Lee, you enjoy your health, yeah? So when you're going to the gym and you're consistent with your gym training, which of these needs are you aiming to meet?
Oddly, certainty and growth. Well, I find it quite a growing experience, not as muscular or physical growth, but mentally to be able to push a new limit or switch off or develop something. You know.
Would you say significant?
Oh, to a lesser degree.
To a lesser degree, yeah. Do you have any decisions you've made in the past that maybe relate to some of these needs?
I can only, the only one that comes to my head is the same as Lee, as the gym. Yeah, significance definitely. I want to feel, it's not so much what other people think of me, it's significance within myself. I want to feel, I feel empowered, you know, especially when you get a good pump, you know, in the gym, I feel very empowered by it. it's like a drug, you know. You're chasing that high every time I go to the gym. Yeah, growth definitely. Yeah, it's the same as what Lee said. Not physical growth. It's that comes down to significance of it, but the mental growth of pushing through barriers. You know, especially when you're when lactic acid's kicking in and you're able to get those last 3 or 4 reps out. That's a growth, a mental growth for me, especially on legs because I'm a weak bitch on legs at times.
So we talk about beast mode, total domination, balance in all life areas. Just think of some of the life areas that you're really strong at versus ones you need to put more focus on,
Yeah.
or choose to put more focus on. Have a think about how different the needs that you're chasing are for them. Maddie, does anything come to mind?
Probably contribution.
Yeah.
If I'm to be perfectly honest, I don't contribute in certain areas. Obviously with my family, I do what I can. Work, I do what I have to, and then nothing.
So if we go back to the needs, with your work, what needs are you after or fulfilling?
Well, I need to be more certain with where that's going. And that comes down to contributing to my family. So if I'm more certain with where the project's going, then I'm able to contribute more to providing for the family.
And maybe with your work as a supervisor, have you been holding back
Yeah,
a little bit?
because of those limiting beliefs and self-sabotaging, thinking that other supervisors that are in the same position, that have got there the same way as I did, are better than I am. I know I'm better than that.
Is that true? Is that serving you?
It hasn't been done.
Let's say, for work's sake, that you wanted to step up as a supervisor and either lead the team more or just step up in your responsibilities. Are there other needs on there that you could be aiming to meet?
Yeah, definitely growth. I mean, they promote a lot of training. I'm always hounding to get that. You're limited to what you can get. I don't get the feedback when we are growing or we are trying to achieve a deadline or whatever.
So let's think of it this way. If you stepped up a little bit more and said, okay, I want to achieve more growth or I want to chase that a little bit more. You stepping up as a leader, does that allow you to contribute more? So you could be chasing more than one of those spiritual needs?
Yeah, I'll be able to contribute to my lads. If I can provide my knowledge to them, enabling them to train others to achieve a better result.
Exactly. Leaders creating leaders to lead others. Okay? I know you love your cars. Yeah. So with your cars and how much dedication, I know how much you love them and how much time you take out of your day, your week, to work on cars. Do you know which needs your...
Significance, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. To feel unique, feel special, feel needed.
And if we have to go with certainty or variety?
Very
Still
good.
need two, and still need either certainty or variety.
Probably variety. Because everything's sort of up in the air for the moment. That could
Do you
be.
like that challenge?
Yeah, nothing's really certain. Everything's up for grabs. So just
So what other areas of your life, if you say, okay, significance is the main one I'm chasing with my passion for cars,
just in life in general.
is there significance I can chase in other life category areas that might serve me better? Take focus, a little bit of focus away from that?
Yeah.
Mindset.
Think of the 7 areas that you work on: health, wealth, passion,
oil, could use a bit of help.
Or something for your family. What makes you feel really important, special and needed and unique for your girls?
Seeing things on. She gives me the opportunity, I always take it. Everything else just goes out the window. I just spend the whole much time as I can with them, and we just have fun. Just go wherever they want to go, and just,
So that's really love and connection with your girls.
yeah,
But then you get significance out of it too.
yeah, because I feel like their dad, you know. And we get to spend time with them.
It makes you feel like a dad. So what makes you not feel like a dad?
When I'm by myself and they're with their mother.
So if you think about it, is that serving you? Is there another way you can maybe think about it when you're by yourself that allows you to meet that need for love and connection with your daughters and significance on yourself?
Growth.
Yeah. And what about setting yourself up for your future?
That falls in uncertainty at the moment. But if I grow myself, then everything else will fall.
If you grow yourself.
When I'm grown, well, it's going to happen, so that's not a problem. Then everything else will fall into place. Then we'll go from uncertainty to certainty.
Powerful, eh? So if we go back and look at some of our decisions that we've made in our past, whether it was to study or to work, you start to see how some of these come into play. And if you're about to make a decision, really, really important decision, you can use this now as a tool in your tool belt to work out, by making this decision, what needs am I trying to fill? And then you can go to the next level and say, are they serving me? Yeah, you like that? Anything else to add, coaches?
Yeah, can I add that? That was fucking brilliant, man. Serious. I was just going through that, the way you explained it, the way you explained how my mind changed when I started changing, getting the growth, and then what I was missing with balance, and it was love and connection. That was fucking awesome. Lee, you've got nothing to say, I'm sorry. That was, man.
What I'm going to say is that what you just did there, you feel my life purpose about building an environment, letting people just fucking flourish and grow. So I'm really blessed and fucking grateful that you've done it. That's awesome, bro. Leading yourself,
Job.
leading all the way through, and then you can do these success trials as well. Yeah, want to do that?
Yeah?
Because obviously you still got a little bit more to go with that.
Oh, yes.
Getting through the encoded and then understanding fulfillment. First, how did that? I'm going to give you some coaching now.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
It's cool. I didn't quite know exactly where it was going to go, but I knew I was going to explain it as best I could to give the service. And if I didn't feel like I communicated as well as I wanted to at the start. So then I started working it into examples to get the lessons across.
Yeah, so you were in your head. True. Like you didn't like that one of the examples that you have for a one, did you?
No.
You just roll with it. Awesome stuff, man. So how did that make you feel?
Enlightened. I'm like, yeah, I've done it.
You love yourself more?
Absolutely.
You more empowered?
Mm-hmm.
You feel more golden?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I thought. So what are you going to do to connect with that all the time?
Keep practicing, keep doing it, building that story.
Keep getting up there?
Yeah, absolutely. It's awesome up here. I know I've needed to do it. I've just held back in the past.
Why?
Planning to plan, prepare to prepare to prepare.
Yeah. Do you reckon that you could add value to people's lives?
Oh, absolutely.
Mentor?
Yep. Realignment mentor.
Realignment. There you go.
Or both.
Just realignment. So the next bit, talking about the drivers, how we desire, obviously, our subconscious, doing things like that. And then obviously, get up with fulfillment, what we need. So you teach you any way you want. Any questions, guys, firstly, like what is there, if you want to know, because this is something that really should be, is important to master.
Do you guys have any questions?
Well, Peter has looking at it, so you've got a question.
Alright.
What's the question, Peter?
Just a contribution.
Yeah.
What is it?
What is it? A sense of service and focus on helping others, giving to and supporting others.
Every time you
There's
build
a
a
lot
car,
about-
a truck, it's not just significance, you contribute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a lot, but
makes sense.
you know, Leo, I need you to listen. One of the things I most appreciate about Beast Mode is how he's done this for contribution. And you see, when we go through these breakthroughs, if you watch him while we're growing and learning, that fulfills Lee's need for contribution, big time. Significance too for Lee, because that's what makes him feel really pumped. Growth, because he's always growing and learning a lot from us. What about me? Absolutely, same. But the reason I say Lee is because Lee's obviously created Beast Mode, and I'm part of Beast Mode. Sorry? I know.
Good time to coach, good,
Sorry?
Coach.
Yeah. Absolutely. So for me, this is definitely uncertainty, coming up here and talking. But it's feeding my significance and my growth, because I knew I needed to do this in order to grow and get to where I need to go. And when I'm struggling is when I'm in my head. But when I'm in contribution and service to you guys and thinking about you guys and the examples, that is the contribution need that I'm chasing.
What's hard on scale was, he's trying to feel his significance and contribution. This is scale, right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is scale from least important to most important.
Yeah.
So
What
when he,
happens when you grow? Love yourself, and when you push through fears, what's on the other side of fear, love. So growth and contribution will ultimately lead you to a greater love of yourself.
Cool.
And we all know Aaron's very spiritual, he's an empowerment coach. And you can see he spends a lot more time on growth.
I've done a video on this one. When I saw these, I recognised every decision I'd made since I left school and what was driving those needs. Can I quickly tell that story?
absolutely.
Awesome.
So, at school, I'd been going through a lot of certainty, the same old routine, and I was sick of it. I was over it. So I went travelling in search of more variety. But also at the end of college, I had low self-worth. I had very little significance. And as I travelled, I made a great group of friends. And they were a lot older than me. They were about 6, 7 years older than me. And they gave me a feeling of significance and love and connection. And I actually moved back home, but then I went back and lived with them for about 9 months. And in that 9 months, I did a lot of variety. I had a lot of uncertainty. And in those times, I grew a lot. Like, I became more confident, put simply. And I loved that confidence because I'd come from a place of low self-worth. And I wanted confidence more than anything. I recognised that growth was what was going to give me what I ultimately wanted. So I kept travelling, more variety, more uncertainty, and just lots of growth for years, like pushing out of my comfort zone, just doing lots of wacky stuff. And September last year, I ended up in Darwin, and I sort of got stuck there. And I was a bit over having so much variety, so much unknown. I started to feel like a bit of a waster, like I wasn't really, because I'd grown so much, I'd recognised that I do have skills and strengths and that I have something of value to add to the world.
So I moved back home to get more certainty, to ground myself, so I could make a greater contribution to the world. Because I wanted to start serving people. I'd meet these people who had so much resistance in their lives, and I was passionate about helping them through that resistance. And I recognised it came easily for me, just with my emotional intelligence. And so obviously growing so much, I got a greater love for myself. So I was actually fine with having more certainty and grounding myself. I wasn't looking for love and connection outside myself. So that's where I've been on. And now I still love growing, but I've tied it in with my contribution of making other people see their value, of getting through their resistance. And that's how I'm growing. And now I've got both these two tied in together. And obviously I get greater significance, get more love and connection from others, but it's in a more pure place. It's not from a needy place, it's from a genuine connection. And yeah, I actually get a kick out of grounding myself and doing the discipline thing. Because I find now that I grow from that, I've got out of my comfort zone that many times and done so much crazy stuff that my growth game sort of switched around. So yeah, this is massive when you recognise when you recognise your values and whether they are serving each area, and being able to switch that around. So yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
So we just, in that box there, can you just tell me what's in it? I don't know. Yeah, what's in the box? So the drive is encoded in our nervous system. And what this means is the way people meet these 6 needs is unlimited. So we can do it in many different formats, as Aaron was explaining through his journey since he left school and his decision process for all the decisions that he made, from travelling to coming back home to getting outside his comfort zone, all of that. So one of the most common examples we see in life is that the desire for certainty is so that we can avoid pain rather than gain pleasure, which leads to most people staying in their comfort zone. Yeah?
Yep.
So while some people pursue this need by striving to control all aspects of their life, others obtain certainty by giving up control and adopting a philosophy of faith. Religion, might be drugs. Yeah. And variety, on the other hand, is what makes us feel alive and engaged. Like, what am I going to do next? And it's just that excitement, like I went back to before. Surprises. Who likes surprises? Yeah. Surprises don't like it, full problems.
The logo there for you, man. There's a logo there for you.
So now these give you a lot more allowance of how you've been feeling, isn't it? So it gives you more of a directional pattern, like, hey, I need more of this, less of that, or something else. Yeah? So it's been a big gauge in your life.
Absolutely. Yeah, even especially since coming back from the retreat in February and just realizing that one was getting rid of the limiting beliefs, or acknowledging, disassociating from them, and then working on them. I don't feel like I got rid of all of them straight away, but I'm a lot more aware of them now and working through them. That's what I was going to say.
You're doing awesome, man.
Yeah, you're rocking it.
I just realised that they weren't serving me and I needed to do something different. So I left my 9 to 5 job, and now I'm definitely chasing the variety and uncertainty. And it was really interesting since I left. I've been gone 2 months now. The first month was getting really, really stressed and almost looking for certainty, like I need to find a job, I need to find a job, I need to find a job. I realised I actually took a step back. I had a really good chat with Lee, my mum, good friends, and I realised that that's actually the wrong question to be asking. You know, I need a job, well, where can I find a job? It was actually, how can I create income? And we had our coaching call, some powerful things came out of that. But I was scared, I was prepared to grow. So I didn't do anything. The certainty of doing nothing was much stronger than the uncertainty and the growth. Yeah, absolutely. And that was one of the biggest reasons I came to Bali, and I think for most of us on this retreat, we came for uncertainty, variety, and for growth. And also, it's a lot to do with significance. I say the desire for significance is what gives life meaning and importance. Some people pursue this by competing with others, or by destroying and tearing down those around us, those energy vampires. Or you go back home to your environment and your friends don't treat you the same. Coaches have shared their experiences today about that. So the force of life is the drive for fulfillment. We all have a need to experience a life of meaning, and it's just how we meet these needs that really goes about that. It can only be achieved through a pattern of living in which we focus on the two spiritual needs. I've spoken a lot about the first one.
About looking at the board of the two spiritual needs.
Contribution and growth.
So the first one is we need to continuously grow. And the second is we need to, guys?
Contribute.
Beyond ourselves in a meaningful way. So all behaviours that don't serve you arise from the inability to consistently meet these needs. When our attempt to reach fulfillment fail, we settle for comfort, or for meeting our needs on a smaller scale. It's easier to stay in that 9-to-5 job which you hate than to do something bigger and take that leap of faith and jump and enter the unknown. You should look to replace any disempowering ways of meeting your needs with things that empower and support you. Does everyone understand how this can apply in their lives? You should look to replace any disempowering ways of meeting these needs with things that empower you and support you and others.
Senior and healthy ones. Makes sense, guys? Yeah. You answered the question,
Any of you have any examples that you first pop up come to mind? Is there something you've been doing in your life that hasn't been serving you to meet these needs?
Yeah, like sticking with certainty, sticking with my job. Because it's big money, it provides comfort, it provides certainty, it provides everything. Yeah, I know I can, if I just release those strings a wee bit and take a risk, which I have done once before, and it served me well, but I'm back in it again. So,
but also realising that you don't have to take one big risk at a time. You can work on the dreams and what's really going to empower you and serve you when you're not working. If you look like you're thinking a lot.
No, I'm good. I'm just good.
Pete wants to talk to you.
Hey.
Say what the question is.
Unhelpful.
So, are there any disempowering ways you've got in your life that you meet these needs, rather than meeting these needs with things that empower you, support you, and others?
We've always been in effect, letting things happen first,
instead of actually.
But this goes more to your decisions and what you do in life, and the needs that you're looking to meet consciously or subconsciously in making those decisions. Good help?
Give another example, boy, like you said before with the job. Yeah, that saying, oh, I need to find a job, that's not really empowering. But you said, you change it to what's a way I can afford this and make money.
Exactly.
That's empowering.
Changing your mindset.
Well, would you think like at the moment with your meaning, connection and love? It's just really
I
a
could say
time.
I'm looking for it.
Yeah, but it's not. It's probably an unhealthy connection. Yeah?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's
Probably, so you don't fully believe it.
So I don't commit.
So if you have a
Well,
great,
it's a significance more than love and connection at the moment.
But that'd be one of the primary ones, the
Yeah.
driving that. Maybe certainty.
Yeah, certainty.
Certainty and love and connection. That's what you're chasing currently.
Probably, yeah.
Are you doing it in a way that empowers you or disempowers you?
Probably disempowers me at the moment.
And why do you say that?
Because I'm doing it because I have to rather than as a positive.
feel a void.
Yeah,
You
fill
feel
a void. Yeah.
Just you're searching for instead of love, you're searching just for a connection.
Yeah,
Because, and that's to keep you away from pain.
exactly.
So you're not seeking love and connection and certainty for pleasure, more to avoid pain. Which is stronger? Avoiding pain or seeking pleasure? In this scenario for you.
Putting the band-aid in the ball wound.
So what's the strategy to get out of this? Or
Plan.
have a plan? Yeah.
Strategy.
And any ideas what that might look like?
And because I had a plan before, and because it's all mucked up, I'm not sure if I even want that plan anymore. And now I'm looking for something completely
That's it, you give it a new plan.
So what's the feeling you're chasing?
fulfilling, actually.
Can I jump in?
Yeah, sure.
Give a pretty relative story in the situation. Going to my story a bit, like I mentioned before, I was in a marriage for 2 years. Yeah, it got to a point where it wasn't working. Yeah, we'll learn about this in polarity later, but there was no balance there. Yeah, so separated. Yeah, you know that feeling. Things just don't work out, and there's that human need of certainty where you want to be loved. It didn't happen anymore. Yeah, so what happened? I went to something called calls. I thought, fuck, my calls always mistakes, I shouldn't have fucking, went out, going out so much, I shouldn't have been training so much, and I started looking in the wrong places. But the moment I realised I need to grow as a human, because I was attracting the wrong person in my life, that's where the magic happened. I took full responsibility of everything that was in my life, not in my life. Yeah? And that's where everything changed. Yeah, and that's why I started attracting it. And, within a year, I attracted my queen, man, because I knew what I wanted. I created, I grew into the person I needed to be. Yeah, someone a leader, someone strong, took care of my body, took care of my mind, took care of my nutrition. And then attracted the person I needed in my life. So that's a little hint there for you, what's important right now. Don't about the shit around you. Think about yourself. Once you've got that sorted, everything will come into your life all together.
You see the difference when we're talking for abstract, you gave me the strategy to step into, like you gave me that, and you just create that on your own, like you say, I need to change, how fucking change? You need to know if you don't, you're going to be like the after last retreat. Yeah? You'll have to create a strategy, but it needs to be specific, because what does it use money?
Nothing. I'm going circles.
That's it, goes nowhere. There's nothing. Thanks, Alan.
Oh no, Albie, that was good, man.
Thanks, Ellie. Pete. In February, we met Limitless Pete. We really loved him. We saw how much he was growing, how much conviction he had, how much he cared and loved his family, especially your girls. And that's where the focus is on now, yeah? So what's the identity and the character that you need to become to manifest your dreams and goals? That's, I think, where we don't have certainty. We don't have clarity. Probably need to grow.
That's the most important one for you. Growth. Yeah. So you know when you're at the retreat, what changed when you went back? Obviously I know the last a little bit, but what changed?
Just resistance from others, pretty much. Not wanting anything to change.
Not what about not practicing the new you. Because you made a decision, yeah? You made a decision while you're here that you're limitless. And we believe you. And so did everyone. But then it needs to be a sustainable decision. You need to stay in it, yeah?
Can I just jump in here? When I got home, by the second week I was having all kinds of issues with up in my head. And once I sorted that out, I went out and I started just being this new me. And people around, like my mother, my sisters, my dad, stepmom, and my best mate, none of them want anything to do with me. You know why? Because they can't handle positivity that I got, right? So they all pulled back. I'm still here, still got smiles on my face, because instead of collapsing in on myself and going, oh, they don't want me to change, they don't want all that sort of stuff, I turn around and I'm like, no, you know what, I'm just going to keep being this super positive me. I'm going to keep pumping it out. And they started to turn around. You know, my mum, you know, God bless her, she's trying to be positive. She hasn't got it right yet, but she's trying. There you go.
That word hurts my ears.
She's trying. But, you know, like my mate, you know, my best mate, I've been mates with him for like 17 years or something. Doesn't want nothing to do with me. And I'm like, well, that's cool, I'm growing. Yeah, you grow or go. Right? And I'm not hurt by that. I just understand that he's not ready. And eventually, when I'm way up here, and he's at that stage where he's ready to grow, he'll come back. You know, either that or he will always be stuck in his head. But I can't let how other people want to see me affect how I am. When I know that if I'm standing tall and I'm proud of myself, I'm going out of my way every day to put smiles on people's faces and make them happy, I'm serving my purpose, I'm serving myself. And, you know, everything in my life starts falling into place because I'm doing what's right for me. You know, and you've got so 2 daughters, is it?
Yeah,
so you've got these kids, right? Once we start doing what's right for you, what do you think's going to happen to these kids? All right, all this shit's going to start rolling over, and they're going to be like, "This is the best fucking place on earth."
What's more powerful, action or word?
You know, and it all comes down to don't listen to what everybody else is doing, and believe in yourself and stand tall, stand strong. You know, tell the right story to yourself and get out there and do it. Take those action steps.
Why do you think you haven't been outspoken for? Why do you think you say your mind, speak your mind?
So I've always been on space.
To avoid conflict, or you value enough to be able to say?
I just don't, but confidence just to be able to say it.
So I've seen the confidence there before.
Yeah, I just got to ignore that and just do it.
There's a guy that was out there before, he smashed through a board. That wasn't had confidence. He's in there. Let him go.
How do you learn a skill? Do it once?
Repetition.
Every day, as many times as you can.
All the time.
Role play it.
All the time.
Is that a strategy, you reckon? Yeah. What story are you going to say? When you want to speak? What state is that going to put you? That's awesome. We've seen it a few times today. You've seen the growth, and then you go back into your shell, and you grow, you go back into your shell, you grow, you go. Once you get a result,
You got to keep actioning it, keep actioning it, keep actioning it, keep actioning it. Otherwise, you'll just keep going back in the shell.
Or another thing, just stay uncomfortable.
Yeah, stay uncomfortable.
Even like how many times I've done the retreats, I get up there and at first like because new faces, everything, I get nervous. If I come out, it's just like okay, new people. I have to, I don't know how they're going to be, so it's all just a filling out. But you have to get out, you have to get uncomfortable, man. Absolutely. So real magic happens.
I think we wrap this all up nicely. Firstly, here I'm going to ask you to change your physiology. Open up your shoulders, chest, sit up tall, especially when you're doing this exercise now. So this is called the Peak Performance Action Plan. So if you just go to page 13 in your workbooks. And this is just to bring all home. We've discussed it all. But just take time to reflect and write down, answer these questions. Question number 1. Which of these 6 needs do you tend to focus on or value the most?
You get them to answer all 4.
So if you guys finish